My daughter's gymnastics coach kept making her practice alone after everyone left. When I found out what was really happening during those extra sessions, I called the police. My daughter Emma started gymnastics when she was 7. She was naturally gifted, picking up skills that took other kids months to learn. By age 10, she was the star of her team at Premier Gymnastics Academy. Coach Mark was in his mid-30s, well-respected in the gymnastics community, and had coached several kids to state championships. Emma adored him. She'd come home talking about how Coach Mark said she had real potential and how he was going to help her reach the next level. About 6 months ago, Coach Mark started asking Emma to stay after regular practice for what he called specialized training sessions. He said she was so talented that she needed extra attention to maximize her potential. I was thrilled. Emma was passionate about gymnastics, and having a coach believe in her enough to offer additional training felt like a blessing. These sessions happened twice a week, always after the other kids and parents had left. Coach Mark said it was better for Emma to practice without distractions, and it made sense. The gym could get pretty chaotic with 20 kids running around. Emma seemed happy about the extra training at first. She'd come out of these sessions tired but excited, telling me about new skills she was learning. But after a few weeks, something changed. She started coming out of the gym quiet and subdued. When I'd ask about practice, she'd just shrug and say it was fine. The enthusiasm was gone. I mentioned it to my husband, but we both figured it was normal. Maybe the advanced training was more demanding, or maybe she was just getting tired. Then last Tuesday, I had to leave work early for a dentist appointment. I arrived at the gym 30 minutes before Emma's session was supposed to end, planning to wait in the car until she came out. But when I walked up to the building, I noticed something strange. The main lights were off, and only the office light was on in the back. I tried the front door. Locked, I walked around to the side of the building where there were windows near the training area. Most had blinds, but one was cracked open slightly. What I saw made my blood run cold. Emma was sitting on the floor in the corner, fully dressed in her regular clothes, while Coach Mark stood over her with a camera taking pictures. "Hold that pose," I heard him say through the thin window. "Perfect. Now turn a little to the right." Emma looked uncomfortable, but she was following his directions like she'd been trained to obey. I fumbled for my phone and started recording through the window crack. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold it steady. "Okay, now let's try some of those flexibility poses we've been working on," Coach Mark said. "Remember, this is just for your portfolio. All the elite gymnasts have professional photos." That's when I realized what was happening. There was no extra training. There had never been any extra training. I called 911 immediately, staying hidden outside the building until police arrived. When they knocked on the door, Coach Mark took several minutes to answer, looking flustered and sweaty. Emma came out confused and scared, not understanding why the police were there or why I was crying. It took 3 officers to search Coach Mark's office while he sat in the back of a patrol car. They found hundreds of photos on his computer and phone, not just of Emma, but of other young gymnasts he'd coached over the years. The detective told me later that Coach Mark had been using the same specialized training story with multiple families. He'd built trust with parents and kids, then gradually escalated to photo sessions under the guise of building portfolios for competitions. Emma was lucky. The detective said, based on the evidence, she was probably only weeks away from more serious abuse. The hardest part was explaining to Emma why her beloved coach was actually a dangerous person. She blamed herself at first, thinking she'd done something wrong by agreeing to the photo sessions. "But he said all the best gymnasts do photo shoots," she cried. "He said it would help me get to the pink." It took months of therapy for her to understand that none of it was her fault, that Coach Mark had manipulated her trust and eagerness to please. Coach Mark was sentenced to 8 years in prison last month. Turned out Emma wasn't his first victim, just the first time he got caught. Emma quit gymnastics completely. She says the sport is ruined for her now, and I don't blame her. But she's been taking karate classes instead. Last week she earned her yellow belt and told me she likes learning how to protect herself. "Next time a grown-up tries to trick me," she said, "I'll know what to do." I am proud of her strength, and I am grateful every day that my dentist appointment got moved up 30 minutes. Sometimes the smallest schedule changes can save your child's life.